of all, we have a great gym in Big Bear Lake, California, the Summit Gym, where we have a number of great fighters training that we train. Triple G being one of them, being our leader, and now working with Nadjib Mohammedi. It's a difficult fight. We have a difficult fight in front of us. Sergey Kovalev was my fighter for about a year and a half, 8 fights, 8 knockouts. So the foundation that we laid is something that he's building on, and he's doing very well with it. He is the best light heavyweight in the world, and we prepared for that. We prepared to fight the best guy in the world. Nadjib earned his right to be the #1 contender by fighting all the fights and moving up the rankings. He became the mandatory, so now Sergey has to fight us. We had a 10-week training camp. We did all the things necessary. We hope that Saturday night we did the things that are going to be able to let us prevail in the fight. We have a system in Big Bear, and since I started training, I do things in a particular way. And when they come to me for help. So they got to be willing to adapt to the things that I see that need to be done. No, I don't change a guy completely, but what I do is I change the things that I feel are necessary to change. And if they don't want to do that, they don't need to be in my gym, because at the end of the day, the trainer loses the fight and the fighter wins the fight. You know, when a fighter wins, it's always the fighter's the great fighter. And, you know, when a fighter loses, that dumb trainer, we got to get rid of him because he's no good. So if I'm going to lose, I want to lose it on my own terms. I want to do the things that I know need to be done from experience, and better them in a way that they have never seen before, in a way that is strange to them. Sometimes a little change makes a big difference in the mentality and approach to a fight.
Sometimes leaving certain things alone is just as important as changing things, right?
Oh, absolutely. But as an experienced coach, you're supposed to know that. You're supposed to know what things you need to tweak and what things you don't need to tweak, and what things you need to leave alone and what things definitely need to change. But that's why they hire us. If they hire us as coaches, and there's a lot of great coaches out there right now that are doing the same thing. Namely Freddie, Nacho, Joe Goosen, Robert Garcia. They have their own systems, and if a fighter allows them to work their systems, then they're going to be successful because they've proven that.
Emmanuel Stewart did that a lot.
Well, this is why ES is right here on my shirt. Emmanuel Stewart is a very good friend of mine, and I learned a lot from Emmanuel on how to approach a fight and how to train your fighter mentally more, as much as physically. Emmanuel had a way of telling you things that made so much sense to you as a coach and as a fighter. So yes, those things are very important.
Finally, having worked with Kovalev, you think that gives you an advantage in some way?
In a way, it does, because I think it's messing with him more than it's messing with me, more than an advantage for me. I think there was a comment he made to the press about, they asked him about me, and he says, Abel who? He doesn't know me. So that just tells me he's thinking about me. But no, I don't think in any other way it would be an advantage, because it's been 2.5 years, and he's got a great coach in John David Jackson right now. So I think John has done a masterful job from the point that I left off, and he's on top of the world, and John will make sure that those things that he was doing before, or that John thinks that I may have an advantage on, he will tweak and he will change, because John is a very smart coach, a 3-time world champion as a fighter, so I know he's very capable of doing those things.
Well, certainly appreciate you taking the time, and wish you and your fighters not only, well, you have a whole stable for them. Wish everybody success. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much. If you don't mind, I'd like to mention some of those fighters. We have Murat Gassiev, who's a cruiserweight that's 22 or 23-0. He's the #1 contender, #2 contender in the IBF. Should be fighting in September. We have Denis Shafikov, who's the #1 contender, fighting. He was supposed to fight Mickey Bey just last week, but Mickey Bey vacated the title. So now Shafikov will fight for the vacant title in September also. We have Konstantin Ponomarev, who is a 28-0 welterweight. We have Freddie Lawson, who's a 24-0 welterweight also. We have Joel Diaz, who fights on this card, who is 18 or 19-0. Sullivan Barrera fights on this card, he's 15-0. And we have some other young fighters that are still coming up, but those are the mainstays in my gym right now. And of course, the man Triple G.
All right. All the best to you. And the Triple G is, what's up with him then?
I believe that they're talking about October. We don't have an opponent yet. Tom Loeffler and Herman Brothers, his managers, are negotiating that right now. They hope to announce that within the next couple weeks.